Howdy there, folks. First of all, before I start doing this here video, I need to apologize to Lurleen Whitman. Or White Man, actually. Lurleen White Man. That's a fine last name, by the way. I like that last name, White Man. Something I respect about that. Whose question I accidentally skipped when I was reading this last time. She asked me, why do you want to be Quentin Tarantino? Which, you know, I did skip on accident, but could have just as easily skipped on purpose, because I don't. I don't want to be Quentin Tarantino. Well, I mean, maybe I would, because he's, you know, a millionaire and has made some badass movies and stuff. But not really actively pursuing the whole Quentin Tarantino thing. Thanks for asking, though. Moving on. The Dude of Life asks, do you think the majority of American society, fundamentalist extremists aside, is intellectually and emotionally mature enough to function without religion to rely upon for comfort and guidance? Well, the thing about that is that if they're not, then they won't become atheists. If they truly need that in their lives, then they will not abandon their faith. But you see in a lot of countries, I don't believe that Europeans are any smarter than Americans, and yet they have a much higher percentage of atheists in Europe than they do here in the good old US of A, where I think that we're some of the most innovative people on the planet. We hold the copyright. We have more copyrights and patents in this country every year than any other country in the world. So we're obviously a creative people. We're obviously a smart people. And if those dumbass European losers can get along, no offense to my European subscribers, if they can get along without religion, then I think that we could easily do the same. If I were going to make you into an origami shape, what color paper would I use? Red. Do you think Hardcase quit, or was he banned? I know he quit because he said he quit. Would you like to join the Bill Cosby Commando Kids? Do I get like a uniform? Do I get to wear like a little cute outfit? It's all tight against my skin. I don't know what the Bill Cosby Commando Kids are, but it has KKK in it. It's BKKK. So, are you asking if I want to be a Klan member? I don't know. Why is Cosby spelled with a K all of a sudden? Is that a different Bill Cosby? I don't know. Let's see. Isn't Star Wars Episode 1 a great movie? No, it's fucking not. Last time I insulted Star Wars on the channel, I got a bunch of Star Wars nerds emailing me, telling me, you just go with a popular opinion. You act like you're some free thinker that thinks for yourself. But as soon as it comes to Star Wars, you just default to the mainstream opinion. Ooh, pwned, bitch. No. Sorry, you have pwned nothing. It sucked, okay? The reason that the mainstream thought it sucked was because it sucked. The acting was wooden, the plot made no fucking sense, it contradicted shit that was in the other movies. It sucked. Okay? It fucking blew. It had none of the magic of the original trilogy whatsoever. That's a fucking fact. Fuck off if you don't like it. Why isn't there more atheist outrage about the account suspensions, total deletions of Hardcase Owns You and the Rational Response Squad? Well, as I already said, Hardcase left of his own volition. And the Rational Response Squad, they, well, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about that yet, because we don't really know why they were banned. We have yet to be given a reason. Was it for copyright? Was it for content? Did YouTube just decide it doesn't like atheists? I mean, until we know the reason, I don't think we can jump to any sort of conclusions about it. And they kept the Blasphemy Challenge videos up on the Blasphemy Challenge account, so obviously YouTube didn't mind all the publicity they were getting from that. So who knows? Really, I think that people haven't really commented on it because they're not really sure what's going on yet. Can I have a kiss? There you go. If you could remove any one thing from the world, what would it be? This thing can be anything: an ideal, group, religion, all of a type of group, such as all religions, someone, an entire people, anything, LOL. You can choose to erase this thing from either history altogether or just a blink disappearance now. I think if I could do that, I would choose to get rid of the human capacity to harm other people against their will. I think that's what I would get rid of. And not throughout all of history, because I think that I don't want to fuck with history, but I'd get rid of it today, presently. And it's important that you specify against their will, because I still want to be able to have, to be, spanked and beaten and stuff, and wear my little doggy collar. But, I don't think people should be, harmed against their will, as so often happens. And if I was going to get rid of one thing, it would be the human capacity to commit that act. What made you cut your wonderful long hair? I miss it very much. I respect your decision. It's your hair. In other words, I don't respect your decision. I don't like your hair as it is now. The reason I cut it was because I can do this now. I can run my hands through it, and I don't come across a single fucking knot or tangle of any kind. And before, if I tried to run my hands through my hair, I'd be like, ah! Okay, that hurt. I don't like it. I don't like my hair. It was too fucking long. There was knots in it. It was too hard to shampoo and condition. It was too much maintenance. I couldn't handle all of it. Who's the hottest female YouTuber in your opinion, and in your estimation, what is the best method of suicide? Hottest female YouTuber, I like Exiled. She fine. And Demonique, I don't know how to pronounce her name, 666. She's pretty hot. And then there's some Asian girl that the Friendly Geek is obsessed with, who's also pretty hot. There's a few hot girls on here, but not too many in the atheist community, sadly. We're more of a community for ugly guys rather than pretty girls, but hopefully that'll change in the future. Hey, we gotta have faith in something. Alright, let's do one more page of this for today. Oh, suicide. Sorry, I forgot about the suicide aspect of the question. What's the best method of suicide? Well, I think that the ideal method for all people, or just for me, what's your objective? Do you want to go out with a bang? Do you want it to be something that's slow and sexy, or what? What are you going for? I mean, do you want painless, quick painless, slow and painful, slow and sexy, quick and sexy? What are you looking for? Be in a snuff film, take a fantasy to an unhealthy extreme. Make it something sexual and or spiritual. Don't just make it some kind of, oh, woe is me. I mean, celebrate your suicide. That's what I say. What is your stance on GLBT issues? Which that means gay, lesbian, bi, and transsexual. Which I didn't know. I had to have someone explain that to me. gays. My uncle is gay, and he's my favorite uncle. He's pretty fucking awesome. You guys didn't like him too much when I did his interview, but he's a cool guy. And lesbians. Both of my older sisters are lesbians. That doesn't really say much for lesbians. Bisexual, that's probably the most natural sexual state, I would imagine. I wish that I could be attracted to more people, because there are people that I actually absolutely adore ideologically that I'm just not sexually attracted to, because they're, the wrong type of person, wrong gender, wrong this, wrong that. And I'd like to just be able to just care about that emotional connection, and that physical thing would just kind of fall in line afterwards. Now, of course, that's not what bisexuality is, but I think that it's a step in the right direction towards omnisexuality, which is what we should all strive to. Transsexuals. I find that kind of bizarre, transsexuals. I don't understand them, because to me, everyone is dissatisfied with their body. But they seem to take it to another step and say that this is not only is there something wrong with their body, but it's the wrong body entirely. And I'm still skeptical about it, but I don't have anything against them. I think that they're, if you feel like you have to do something in your life to be happy, and you really feel like, if I don't do this specific thing, then I'm going to be miserable son of a bitch for the rest of my life, or a miserable daughter of a bitch, or whatever, then do it. If it doesn't hurt anyone but you, or if it doesn't hurt anyone at all, do it. And let's see. If time travel was suddenly possible and you had the chance to go back in time and stop one person from being born, who would it be? And I'm not allowed to choose Hitler, because he says everyone would say that. I wouldn't do that to anybody. I can't think of anyone who I would want to prevent from being born, just because I don't want to change any history. Did you like the movie 300, and did you think the Iranians are overreacting about how Persians in the film were portrayed? Well, obviously they were overreacting. They're Iranians. Iranian is practically a synonym for overreaction. And I did like the movie. I thought it was pretty good. I saw it only once, but I saw it in IMAX, and it was a pretty badass movie. Not as good as I thought it would be, but it was pretty fucking awesome. What makes you try to sway others to atheism? Why make these videos? Why care about what other people believe? What's the motivation? I've answered this so many fucking times, but I'll try to answer it again. I want to convert people to atheism. Well, first of all, I can't convert anybody. They have to decide what they believe for themselves, or don't believe for themselves, and I'm not really interested in taking a fundamentalist Christian and trying to turn him into an atheist. I think that's a recipe for disaster. But if there's someone who has a natural skepticism, who was forced into religion in the first place, then I'm just trying to deprogram that person. And it takes much more effort on their part, and they have to want it to begin with before I can do anything. And if that is the case, then I'm just here as a tool, just like any other YouTube atheist. I'm just a tool for them to look at it and see what atheism is all about, and get a few different vantage points on it, because it's not just one thing. It's a lot of people on here on YouTube that are atheists. Some are very overt about it, some aren't so much, but you get a broad sense of what the community is like, what the mentality is like, and I think that it's been ultimately beneficial to the world if people are not allowed to declare that they have a moral imperative because their particular invisible, unprovable character that lives in the sky is somehow sanctioned one set of actions and doesn't sanction another set of actions. I think it makes a lot more sense for us to decide our morality, not the gods. Same question. Do you think Burn Victim 77 is stupid? No, I do not. If you were stuck on a desert island and could only have the companionship of either a mermaid, top half human, bottom half fish, or a woman with the top half fish and bottom half human, which would you choose and why? Well, you got it's a question of one hole and two bumps, or two holes. And if she's got a big enough ass, then there's two bumps there too. Or you could just kind of just one bump with a divider. I don't know. I would choose the bottom half because women tend to be naggers anyway, and you don't really know. I mean, some are alright to talk to, but you don't really ever know. Plus, a fish might give better head than a woman anyway because their lips are naturally round, and they do seem to do that suction thing anyway. So, I'd go with the top half fish, bottom half woman. Of course, that would be a strange creature. It wouldn't really be able to breathe that well. It'd have to go underwater to breathe, but then it'd be so slow because it didn't have back fins. It'd probably end up getting eaten by a fucking shark, and then that'd be no good either. So I guess that the mermaid might actually be a better choice. But if she's a mermaid, then she'll just swim away. So there's really, I mean, she's not going to hang around the fucking island. She's going to go hang out with the fishes and shit underwater and get fucked by dolphins. I mean, she's not going to hang out on some island and you know, give head to some fucking scraggly ass dude that's stuck there who wasn't all that attractive to begin with. So I think I take the first woman, the one. I think I take the one with the bottom half woman and top half fish, because you know it doesn't have a woman brain, but it has a woman bottom. So that means that I could eat human flesh without actually having the guilt of having killed somebody because it was just a fish brain. And plus, I'd be on a desert island, so I'd be starving anyway, and I'd need food a lot more than sex on a desert island, of course. So I think I'd take that. Plus, I think there's more meat on a human female's rump than there is on a fish's bottom half, or I guess not really bottom half, but back half. So, yeah, and hopefully be a fat woman too, so I could eat it for a few days. Of course, the meat wouldn't keep unless there was salt on the island. So I guess that if there's salt on the island, then it'd rather be a fat woman, so I could keep a lot of the meat. But if there's not salt on the island, might as well just be a skinny woman, so at least it looks more appealing. Very good question, though. That is the best question so far. Let's keep going, though. Is YouTube addictive? No, it's sure not. Yeah, it's pretty addictive. You know, I have to post at least one video a day, usually. Sometimes 2 or 3. What is the meaning of life, in your opinion, in all seriousness? Ooh, what an original fucking question. Meaning of life is whatever you make it. Blah, 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 blah. Reese's Pieces or M&M's? M&M's. Reese's Pieces suck. I'm going to keep going until I hit another really good question to close on. If the election were tomorrow, who would you vote for and why? I would vote to stay home because these candidates suck. They fucking suck, okay? All of them, okay? You know, Barack Obama, I don't know, where's all these people talk about what he's a great speech writer and shit? He would be a great Hallmark card writer. Hillary is the fucking Antichrist. And the Republican candidates, I mean, Giuliani is a cross-dresser. Not that I have a problem with cross-dressers, but as a conservative Republican, is that going to work? I don't think so. Of course, all conservative Republicans are probably cross-dressers and child molesters and every other kind of undesirable human being you can imagine, but that's just the conservative way. Do you think the creationist reaction to a I can't read the word, sorry, but I know what you're talking about. But I'm not going to read the question because if I can't read the word, then everyone is going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about? But I know what you're talking about, so sorry, you can't read your question though. Next time, don't throw any big words at me because I am not that smart. If you came in someone's mouth, would you let them kiss you? Yeah, probably. Sure, why not? You know, heat of the moment stuff. I mean, sometimes when I'm jerking off, I sit there, and I'm like, after I jerk off, I'm gonna drink my cum, because I get really, you get horny. Well, you probably don't know because I'm a freak. So, but I'm sitting there and I think about that, and then as soon as I come, I look at it, I'm like, ew. Let's just wipe that off. You get these ideas in your head when you're all horny and shit, and then like as soon as you're released, it's like, oh my god, what the fuck was I thinking? Ugh. If you could elect one person to be president or ruler of the world besides yourself, who would it be and why? Joe Pesci. Mango chutney or jalapeno jelly? Neither. Puce or hospital wall puke green? I'll go with hospital wall puke green. What's so great about your garage that we see it in so many of your videos? It's not actually my garage, it's actually the seventh circle of hell. So it's where I live. No, that's not. I don't live in the garage, but I live in the seventh circle of hell. So just to clarify that. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? You're retarded. Do you work, and if not, why not? I do work. I do work all day. I was working all day on a website today. Not my own. My own website is totally neglected. It's www.tarosia.com. A lot of people say it's a hidden website. It's not hidden. The entrance is right there in the front. You just have to be smart enough to actually figure it out. And the clue is pretty fucking blatantly obvious, and smart people tend to get in just fine. But stupid people, yeah, they tend to be like, why is it just this one page? What books are you currently reading? Do you make book list? I am currently reading this book. This is Ever Free by Nick Sagan, who is the son of Carl Sagan. That is not a non-fiction book, that is a novel. I like novels, and it is the third part of a trilogy that starts with a book called Idlewild, and the middle book is called Edenborn, and a really good trilogy of books. The main character is kind of a cynical, misanthropic guy who cares very deeply about the people he does actually care about, and he's thrust into some very extraordinary circumstances regarding viruses that have wiped out the majority of humanity, Matrix-esque kind of stuff as well thrown in there, and a lot of virtual simulations and a lot of commentary on the destructible nature of humanity. It's a lot of shit, but it's really good. No, and I do make book lists. Did anyone ever tell you you look like Mike Stivic? Hey, at least he was an atheist too. Mike Stivic. Trying to remember who that is. If I ever knew to begin with. I don't think I do. Sorry. Is that from All in the Family? Is that the character from All in the Family? The one that was portrayed by Rob Reiner? Was it? I don't think so. Maybe it was. I don't know. Heard Immortal Technique in one of your videos. So who are some of the other rappers you listen to, if there are any? I listen to early Eminem, but I don't really like his new stuff. It seems like he's really kind of running on empty at this point. I like Tupac Shakur. I like DZK. And I like the Insane Clown Posse. Very intellectual band. Yeah, I like a bunch of white and Mexican guys. Oh, I think the only actual black rapper I like is Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Oh, and Bizarre from D12. Has he put out a solo album yet? I'd buy it. God damn, you guys ask boring, stupid fucking questions. Are you an absurdist? What the fuck is that? Yes, no, maybe. Fuck you. Will you petition the universe again? Dear universe, please send me better questions. Ever said LOL in real life before? LOL! No, I don't believe so. Not in seriousness, anyway. Then again, who says LOL in seriousness, anyway? But I know some people, LOL is like every other fucking word out of their mouth. Well, not out of their mouth, but out of their fingers when they're typing. This is typing right here. You need a pantomime typing, because a lot of people don't understand typing. They think it's like they say typing, and then they see in their minds you like slamming your face against the keyboard. So I type with my fingers. That's why I illustrated that, because I'm Marcel Marceau's protege. So there you go. What is the most funny experience you and your dog have had together? Funny experience with my doggy. I don't know. Can't think of anything funny. Sorry. Do you like the band Nirvana? Sure, they're alright. Not a huge fan. Kurt Cobain does share the same birthday as me, February 20th. But otherwise, not really. I don't know. I mean, I don't dislike them. I don't really like them either. I mean, I have all their CDs burned to my hard drive, actually, but I don't really listen too often, and never been a huge fan. Try to get at them, because I like Kurt more than I like the band, I'll put it that way. How do you keep your figure? Coke, donuts, and candy. That's how I keep my figure. Oh, and cookies. Don't forget cookies. And fast food. Are you an anarchist? Why or why not? I was reading the Encyclopedia Dramatica article about me because someone was talking about it, and I'd been there before, but I actually hadn't been there in a while. And I saw on there that it said that I hate anarchists. And I don't hate anarchists. I've said before, I'd be an anarchist in a minute, in a fucking heartbeat, because I hate the government. I fucking loathe them, okay? I would be an anarchist in a minute if someone could explain to me how certain things would work in an anarchist system convincingly, because I don't understand how we could have a private police force. I don't understand how we could have private roads, because they'd all be toll roads and no one wants to pay a fucking toll every time they go for a drive. This isn't New Jersey. I don't understand the privatizing education thing, although it does make some sense to me, but I don't understand how we would keep there from being huge discrepancies from place to place. And yes, I know we don't even have that with the government, but I think we have at least some semblance of it. I think if you privatize all schools, who's going to build schools in the fucking ghetto? That's my question. Who are these kids just totally fucked if we privatize the schools? I would think they would be. Who's going to take care of people with disabilities and handicapped people? Who's going to make sure that these people are taken care of? This is really basic shit, and anarchists don't have an answer for it. So when they do, I'll gladly be a fucking anarchist. But until that time, I'm not going to do it. And Ayn Rand was a very intelligent woman, but when it comes to how we can run a system, she was a fucking imbecile, and not too great as a writer either. Very wooden prose. But I hear a lot. I know there's a lot of people on here who are just in love with Ayn Rand, but she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Sorry. It sounds very reasonable when you read it, and it gives you kind of a individualist direction, but at the end of the day, when you actually think about how the logistics of it would work, it leaves way too many fucking people behind. It just doesn't work. So until someone can explain to me how we can totally get rid of the government, I remain a libertarian who advocates the smallest government possible. And if the smallest possible government is no government at all, then that's what we'll fucking have. Then I'm an anarchist. So, anyway, I never got to my good question. Hopefully there's something better coming up, because a lot of you asked really dumb fucking questions. But some of you asked good ones too. And I'll do more of these tomorrow.